Recently, we had orientation, my youngest, for Sir Novel Richards, and I was thoroughly impressed by the orientation. I heard everything that I wanted to hear, that I hoped I would hear, and it was it was comforting, Colin, because I don't want to say that we're in any chaotic time or anything like that, but we're definitely at a point where we there's worry for our youths,
Yeah.
both in their social life as well as their academic lives, because we can see it in their performances, their grades, their interest to even be educated. There's that. So the orientation, it stood out for me because it wasn't the usual platitudes and rhetoric where we're going to do great and we're going to hit principal list or stuff like that. They did say these things, but why it stood out was because they gave us the roadmap for how they plan to achieve that. And it begins with the environment, the culture that they're trying to cultivate, which is based on molding good students, good people. And who doesn't want that for their child?
Yeah.
And they're telling us how they plan to achieve that. From the way the uniform is worn, to encouraging them to have school spirit, and not just have school spirit, develop it, cultivate it, and then wave it like a flag. And why this resonated with me was because this was what I heard when I was going to high school. When we had the quote unquote old boys would come back and they say, hey, I used to be where you are, this is where I am now. And this, what we share in common is the culture of our school, to be the best, right? And the fact that they're telling us and showing us that they plan to get our children to the top, to make leaders out of our children, to bring out the positive and the talents that reside within our children, and to help them balance things and to develop discipline and to be diligent and to be okay with being good people. That truly resonated with me. And there was a point in time where they got all of our children to stand up and they had them speak words of affirmation, and they weren't just content with having them mumble it. They had them project it, reinforced it. And I was sitting down there and I'm like, man, why am I not in this school? Why am I not going? This is it. And I don't know, man. I was really happy. I was excited to have my youth going there and to know that this is the environment he's going into. And the students that I saw there, it's like they wore the uniform with pride and they were happy to be there, and I want that for everybody.
Yeah.
No matter what school you go into.
Right.
Because we deserve that. Our children deserve that. And that's how we become better adults. It's not just about being successful, it's being a good person. And by being a good person, we have good environments, good communities, good societies, good business, good schools, good judicial system. Everything starts here. We need to stop thinking in terms of what is cool and what is not cool. That is a distraction. And the things that are cool are usually not the things that are good for our development. They're fun for a time, but they're ephemeral things. They have no substance, right? So instead of thinking that wearing my clothes like this is not cool, or having this particular mindset is not cool, or this isn't how bad man think, or whatnot and whatnot and whatnot, discard that. Look at the most successful people that we have produced in whatever fields, whether it is rap, whether it is in sports, whatever it is. Look at them. Look at how they conduct themselves. the truly successful ones, not the ones that just have a lot of money, the ones who've developed wealth, the ones who have reached a status where they can be admired by more than just their fans. Look at those people and see what it is that they hold as value. What is it that they exemplify? And model them. There's nothing wrong in having manners. There's nothing wrong with saying, having some sort of brought up, saying good morning, good afternoon, nice to meet you, even if the person ignore you. There's nothing wrong in dressing well, right? There's nothing wrong in taking a breather. Every action to an ill done to you does not have to be a violent and aggressive one, right? There's things called just desserts. There's a timing for things, right? So, and you can always do better. Be curious. Do not be ashamed of knowledge. Don't be frightened of failure. Don't. And be mindful of the people that you associate yourself with. People who care for you, not going to lead you down a wrong path. They're not going to tell you negative things. They won't tell you drop out of school, right? There were men on the streets that I knew who were violent men, right? Who were men that did bad things, okay? And they would always be sure to say, hey, I like how you're doing. I don't want you here with me. You're on a good path. If I was in your shoes, I'd be doing that too. I cannot come out of this, but you don't have to join me here, right? And these were men that I knew were violent men. But they had a respect for a particular type of behavior. They knew what the virtues. They knew the virtues, right? And we exemplify that. Once we exemplify the virtues, that is the good markers. And I would encourage any young person out there, you can do better. I read the stuff that the young men and them in the gang said, the two drilly gang, when they responded to the prime minister and they say, oh, we go die young. No, you not go die young. That's a choice. You're speaking that into existence. If you want to walk away now and change your life, you can do it. What is stopping you? You put restrictions on yourself. You put limitations on yourself. Of course, society hard. Of course, the world is hard. Of course, there are people in power that is purposefully tripping us up. That's what them do, right? But if you allow yourself to live in ignorance, you will continue to suffer under them things there, right? Don't go around and glorify fully dunce and dunce check and them kind of things there, exemplifying being ignorant. Don't take that. Don't accept that. Materialize it for yourself. There are people in the States and in other parts of the world that born and grow that their parents never tell them they cannot do it. And there are persons who never get to hear that, but they say to themselves, I can do it. There's nothing that I cannot do. Challenges will come. We work hard. We do not give up. We find a way. As long as there's a will, there's a way. And there's a will, brethren. I encourage you, do not give up. Do not. And when other people laugh at you, don't worry about that. Laughing is only for a time. But you're doing yourself a favor when you go out there and you educate yourself. You learn. You check me. You change your deportment, how you carry yourself. Think of yourself in a higher level and you will be in a higher level.